tell me when you're ready. Okay. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Real quick, I'm going to go over the rules that we made up. First, we'll start with a quick 1-minute introduction from each of you to let people know who you are if they're unfamiliar. We will go through all the questions. We'll take turns. Who goes first? Everyone will get a chance to answer all the submitted questions. I'm a very non-confrontational person, so this is not a debate. This is not, anything negative. It's just simply getting to know about each of you. So anyone who is looking for a political debate or fight, this is not the place, unfortunately. And then after the question period is over, we'll give you another 2 minutes to kind of debrief, say anything else you felt was missed or that you want to get out to the public. And if time allows, and you guys want to field some questions from the audience, we can do that as well, but we will end promptly at 6. You have my word. So, perhaps, anyone, any issues? You ready to go? I don't want to
go.
Okay, we had questions submitted from members and anonymously. So, again, don't tell the messenger. Are you scared? I'm just kidding. Wait a minute. First, you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves. I don't care who goes first, and take a minute to say what you want.
I'll go first.
Awesome. Perfect.
Mitch Robinson. I'm the current Chief Deputy of the Washington County Sheriff's Office. I'm running for, again, the Office of Washington County Sheriff. It's been something that I thought about, and it just happened to come about that I could actually do and had the opportunity to run. I'm excited to run. I really want to be a sheriff. I've got 43 years of law enforcement experience. During that time, I've worked several areas in the metropolitan area. I've also worked small towns and smaller counties. So I've got a wide range of experience.
Thank you. My name is Kevin Willis. I'm also running for sheriff of Washington County. I love this county. The county has embraced me and my family. It's been really good for my family. Raised my kids here. They graduated high school here. I have over 30 years of law enforcement experience and leadership experience. I truly believe that I can make a difference by bringing a fresh start with new ideas and a positive path forward. I also believe that my law enforcement experience, my leadership experience, and my commitment to serve and my servant's heart makes me the best person to lead the sheriff's office.
Last but not least, I'm Brian Beckman. I'm also running for Washington County Sheriff. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here today. I also have over 30 years of law enforcement experience. I'm currently with the Washington County Sheriff's Office as the detective sergeant. I lead the investigations here at the Sheriff's Office. I'm also the president of our FOP, our Fraternal Order of Police Lodge, which branches out and helps all of the employees that we have, safeguards their benefits, wages, and their rights. I'm also involved with several other organizations throughout the county. I feel that my current knowledge with what's going on with the Washington County Sheriff's Office makes me the best candidate to continue doing some of the positive things and changing some of the things that need to be changed.
All right, with that, we will move into submitted questions. Brian, I don't know if you go first. I decided to go alphabetical order and then change the order, so sorry to put you in the spot first, but somebody have to do it. The first question is, what is the biggest change that you feel needs to happen, and how do you plan to resolve it?
I feel that the biggest change that needs to happen is more interaction with the communities. We need to have more presence outside of the cities. We need to have more presence in the rural areas. We also need to have a leader, his people, to communicate with the citizens of the county, citizens of the community, to find out their concerns. I plan on making it one of my highest priorities is getting my guys out there and being visible.
All right, Mitch, you're next. Same question. Let me know if you need.
No, I'm good.
All right.
Some of the biggest changes that probably should be made. I would have to tell him some of what Mr. Beckman said, which is a little bit more contact with the county out there, with the citizens out in the rural areas. We do get into the smaller communities quite a bit with the contracts that we have, with the school resource officers we've got. They're very active in our communities and do a great job. But we also need to get out there to meet with the others a little more, which is why I want to do quarterly meetings in different areas around the county to let them know what the practical trends are that are going on. Some of the immediate things we need to look at. We also need to look at how are we going to deal with some budget constraints that's going to be coming up possibly with this legislature. That's all I'm going to say about the legislature. Sorry. But we could have some hard times coming in. We've got to be able to make some hard decisions. We've got to in some way increase our correctional staff because they just need more help. We need to get some more deputies out there, investigators out there. So there's a whole broad range of things we need to study how we're going to do that.
My take's a little bit different. I know there are probably some changes that need to be made, but in order to really understand what those changes are, my plan is to go in and meet with stakeholders, meet with staff, talk to them about their concerns, talk to them, find out what the true culture of the office is, look at policies, look at the budget, look at everything that really needs to be just put into one pile to really see what changes need to be made. And that would include having a staffing study done. I believe that's important as well. I agree with both of these gentlemen. The community involvement is huge, it's top priority with me. Those things, but those are part of the stakeholders that we need to meet with. So to say that there's, what major changes, I think it's a little early. I'd like to get in and look and see what needs to be changed. I think that's the best approach.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to the next question. Mr. Robinson, you're going to go first. In this one, we had 2 questions submitted from 2 different people along these same lines. So if you submitted these, we're doing a little combination of you. Okay. The appearance of nepotism, whether factual or in appearance only, has plagued the Washington County Sheriff's Office for years. What is your view on this, and how will your office ensure that nepotism does not have a place in Washington County Sheriff's Office?
It's something that's out there that needs to be addressed. And the nepotism that is supposedly going on, let's face it, the people that are there are highly qualified. They didn't get their job because of anything else besides their qualifications. They're doing an excellent job of what they're doing. Ask the Arlington schools what they think about the school resource officer. And I think if you try to take her out of there, there's going to be a battle. So you can say it's nepotism all you want and make those accusations, but they're highly qualified individuals that do a great job. And I just can't see that all going on with them.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, they are some very qualified people that are doing that job that work there. Absolutely, I agree with that. I'm not, I believe there should be a nepotism policy. I think the people there, our grandfather and so forth, like I said, they're doing a wonderful job. They really are. And, but I know at times it could potentially cause issues and cause problems. So having a nepotism policy, I think, is very important. I think in this size organization, it's a good thing to have. In larger organizations, nepotism gets lost in the mix of things. So that's where I stand.
Thank you very much, Mr. Becker.
Nepotism is hitting close to home to me, my law enforcement career. I started my law enforcement career in 1988 in my hometown of Plaza. I worked in corrections and dispatch then. I had an opportunity to become a certified law enforcement officer in 1989. The sheriff at the time gave me that opportunity and told me that once I graduate from the academy, I cannot come back and work as a patrol officer because my father was a supervisor. I completely understood that, and I do completely understand that to this day. There has to be some rules and regulations when it comes to nepotism. Yes, the qualifications of the person have to be considered, but also the supervisory aspect of it as well. It was not an issue in my mind when I was working corrections and my father was working the road. However, that direct supervision can be perceived as judgmental and swayed towards one way. We don't want that. We don't need that. So yes, it needs to be addressed with policy.
All right. Thank you all. Okay, and number 3, we will start with Mr. Willis. Sorry. I don't know.
I'm sitting.
Sorry. Okay. How do you feel about using the county watch like Wayne, Florida did?
The county watch.
Sorry.
A lot of people don't know what the county watch is.
I did not either.
Yeah.
Give it a go.
It's a small group of civilians that volunteer their time to help the county. If there's disasters, they go out and spot storms. Our storm spotters, they help with sometimes with traffic control, with some training and so forth like that. I think county watch is a good thing. That's part of us engaging with the county, with the community, right? It's the people who want to be involved and want to help support the sheriff's office and the citizens. I'm in favor of county watch and using that in the best way possible to help our county and help the sheriff's office.
Thank you very much. Okay. So back to your number 2 on this one.
Our county watch individuals are very well trained. They do go out and help us storm spot. They help us out in disasters. It gives us that extra span, if you would. I mean, they are living in all areas of the county. So there may not be storms in the Fort Calhoun area, but there may be up in the other parts of the county. They know it before anybody else. These guys are great. They're a huge asset. I welcome them. They come out with us all the time. It's great research.
Huge asset. The current watch members that we do have, they've got police radios with them. They've gone out and they've helped us on just something as simple as driving around on holiday night in some of these communities to make sure there's no issues out there. That you can't do without. We need them, their eyes and ears out there when we need them. They also help out with the storm watching. They help out when we had our tornado come through. Someone come out and helped out, just keeping an eye on things. So, very integral part. They're an important part of this organization. They're a part of this community, and it helps us. It's one way in which we can communicate also.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, this next one was submitted about 5 times, 6, I believe, in a different way. So, let's see, Mr. Beckman, you're going to be first on this one, but I'm going to just kind of go through all these and let you guys kind of approach it however you would like to. Okay, here we go. Hold on. If immigration enforcement were to come to a business in Washington County, would you support their efforts? 1. 2, what are your personal feelings towards ICE and the role it plays in enforcing federal immigration laws? 3, would you be willing to sign a 287G agreement with ICE that would allow Washington County deputies to perform certain immigration enforcement functions under federal supervision? Would you ever refuse an ICE detainer? Are you willing to have your deputies share information with ICE about individuals who come into contact with law enforcement during traffic stops or arrests? If elected, would you actively seek opportunities to work with ICE on joint operations or task force targeting criminal and illegal immigration activity in our county? So that's a lot. You guys can have a couple extra minutes to approach that, hit that however you would like to. So,
I'm going to hit that in a broad spectrum.
fair enough.
And yes, I support ICE. I support everything that ICE does for the communities. I know they've had a lot of negative publicity in places, but federal law is federal law. We are sworn officers to uphold the Constitution of the United States as well as the state of Nebraska, and that is part of it. I do work closely with Homeland Security on a regular basis on other aspects of my job, and that includes ICE agents. We already have good contacts with them. We have good relationships with them. We will not refuse their detainers. We will assist them in any way that we possibly can.
Okay.
I support ICE. I support their job they're doing. They're doing a hard job out there. They get a bunch of negative publicity that's really uncalled for. They're enforcing federal laws and regulations. If they call our office while I'm sheriff and ask for assistance, We will go there to make sure that they stay safe and also keep the citizens safe in the area. If we have somebody stopped that ICE would like to put a detainer on, we will detain them. We will not use an ICE detainer because let's face it, some of these people that they're going after are the worst of the worst, the bad of the bad. If they've got a detainer on them, that's something we really want in our communities because we want our community to be safe. So we will cooperate with ICE, we will communicate with ICE, and we will honor their detainers.
Yeah, I'm in agreement as well. We're not federal officers, so we should not be doing, any federal investigations or anything like that. Our job is to support state and local laws. And we support ICE, what they're doing as well, and that it's important for us that they're out and about, make sure they're protected, make sure our citizens are protected, honoring their detainers. That's important for the security of our country, as well. You asked about 287G. Okay, I am not in favor of that, deputizing our deputies to become federal officers to do that. At this time, again, like I said, this is our job as sheriff and the sheriff's office to enforce state and local laws and protect our citizens here. Yeah, we can still do that in support of ICE and making sure that that's done as well, but not as a federal officer, not that capacity.
The 287 is because I did not Google that one. Okay, on this next one, Mr. Robinson, you will be up first. What is your stance on proactive policing versus reactive policing?
Proactive policing is the best way to help deter crime in your county. You have to have people out there being proactive as far as traffic enforcement. Traffic enforcement because they want you to just write a ticket. No. When criminals see red lights and emergency lights on their highways and on the side streets and on the back roads, they don't want to be there because they know the law enforcement not to be inactive. You have to be proactive. You have to study what are the crime trends, where are the crimes going on, what type of crimes are going on there. And you go down and you saturate those areas. You try and set up with areas where you can be proactive and try and prevent those types of crimes going on. Reactive law enforcement, all that does is lead to more crime. It's just not the way to do it. And for people to say, well, we just need to react to the crimes, no. That puts our citizens in an unhealthy, unsafe environment. By being proactive, our people are safer, our homes are safer. So proactive policing, I'm 100% agree.
Yeah, reactive policing, it does exactly that. It solves nothing. It doesn't keep the citizens safe. It doesn't protect the people of the county. Proactive, you have to look at ideas, come up with solutions to be able to analyze the areas and to see exactly where the problem areas are. You have to collaborate with surrounding agencies, work with them to come up with solutions as well, whether it's, like Douglas County has a CAT team or, just working with different agencies and trying to find that, Omaha comes in here, Douglas County comes in here. Let's work together to see if we can find solutions to kind of curb that crime. You have to be proactive. You have to find ways of doing it. As a sheriff, if you're not being proactive, you're not doing your job as sheriff, your due diligence at all.
I kind of touched on this in my opening remarks. In proactive law enforcement, we need to get our guys off of the main roads. They're not state troopers. Yes, we can deter speeding, we can arrest intoxicated drivers and things of that nature there. But a lot of our crime that I see come across my desk happens in the rural communities. It happens for mail thefts out in the county. We need our officers out there to deter those crimes. We will never know how many crimes we've deterred just by the simple mere presence of an officer out there. Yes, proactive law enforcement sometimes does come from reactive law enforcement. If we see an area where we have a lot of crime occurring, we go out and do things in that area to help prevent any further crimes. I've got guys that we put game cameras out and tracking devices and things of that nature to help deter this, especially, it sounds petty, but a lot of the crime that comes across my desk is mail thefts. People going into your mailbox and stealing your mail, your checks that you're mailing off of your credit cards. We need to stop those, and we've done a very good job at taking a lot of those people out.
Okay, Let's see, Mr. Willis, this will be yours first. Currently, the sheriff's office has an active Facebook page that keeps the public informed on current scams, weather watches, and warnings, incidents that occur in Washington County, an X account, and emails the office actively to over 300 people twice a week. What more will you do to improve transparency for the sheriff's office?
And those are great platforms to let people know what's going on. I mean, it's important to do that. I've run on transparency. I think the simple answer to that is I will be approachable, I'll be accountable, and I'll be accessible. And I will genuinely listen. I mean, I'm committed to transparency. And I want people to know what's going on in the sheriff's office. I mean, we're extensions of the community, okay? We're not separate from the community. And it's important that they know what is happening. I mean, for the most part, their investigations, you have to be careful of those. I'm not talking about that. But what's going on with the sheriff's office, what is being spent, why it's being spent, and those kind of things. So, yeah.
Thank you very much.
You betcha.
Mr. Becker?
It's a two-sided question here. First and foremost, there's a lot of people out there that don't understand what the e-patrol is. That's the bi-weekly email that you mentioned. I think we need to involve a lot more people into that, get them on the list so that they understand what's going on out in the area so that they can watch their areas if they need to be. Secondly, I follow a lot of different agencies' Facebook pages. There's a lot of ideas that I have out there. We can post it out on Facebook, some of the people that we've arrested and some of the cases that we're working in, some of the cases, that we have solved, and, congratulating some of our officers or employees when they do well. Bringing that community into the sheriff's office and not just doing it when there's a scam or traffic or weather or something of that nature. They need to be made aware on a very regular basis.
Thank you. Full disclosure, I think social media is adding to the downfall of our society because people no longer talk to each other. They'd rather message each other on social media. However, it's here to stay. It's not going to leave. And I think it's an important tool that law enforcement can use to get communication and get ideas out there. And that's through everything these guys have said. You inform about the crimes going on, you inform about the weather, you inform about the good things your agency has done. We've got a junior law type program we did for the first time last year. That was all over social media and Facebook. And it's not just Facebook. You got to get into the X. You got to get into the Instagrams. You got to get into the TikToks. There's all those things you can do because a lot of those is the younger generational people that can really understand those, and that's how they want to get their information. We have to do that to get that information out there. And I think it's an important thing. As much as my generation, I despise some of that social media stuff. Full disclosure, it's here to stay, and it's not going to go away, and we need to use it for a positive thing.
Okay, Mr. Beckman, you're going to go first on this one. Okay, sorry, I lost my spot. What does improving training mean to you, and how does that differ from the current standards at the Washington County Sheriff's Office?
First and foremost, we have some phenomenal training in our office. We've got some leaders and instructors in our office that do a great job training our officers in a wide variety of areas, between diversity, mental health, firearms training, tactical training, training in the jail and dispatch and everything else. We need to evaluate our training. We need to look at what we are training and how we're training and how often we're training. We need to analyze that and see if there's a better way to mainstream some of that training. We do incorporate training with other outside agencies. What can we do to work with them? The police, Dodge County, Douglas County, things of that nature there. I think we're doing a very good job. Really are.
Mr. Robinson?
Can you repeat the first
Of course. What does improving training mean to you, and how does that differ from the current standards at the Washington County Sheriff's Office?
Thank you. Training is something you should always be reevaluating to see what the training is accomplishing, if it's doing what you want it to do. I come from a training background from the Omaha Police Department. I was there for 10 years in the academy. I trained over 500 recruits in basic police, and whether they were certified as police officers in the city of Omaha. I trained the in-service training about 95% of the full-time officers in the Omaha Police Department. I did that for 10 years down there. So I understand training and the importance of it. PSAC also, the Police Standard Advisory Committee, also understands the importance of police training. It dictates how many hours we will train in different subjects. That's the minimum, and we should be going over that minimum like we currently do. We have some great instructors. I know some world-class instructors that I work with down there in the Omaha Police Department. And our instructors you have with the Washington County Sheriff's Office, I'm telling you, they are just as good as they are down there. We have some phenomenal instructors here that are teaching our guys. We are training with the Water Police Department. Our guys are doing on-shift training. When they have an hour where there's nothing going on, they will meet and they do on-shift training just to catch up on some things going on. So training is very important. Our guys understand that, and they're really going forward with it. But you always have to reevaluate to see if training is accomplishing what you want it to accomplish and how you need to change that training to get it where it is where you want it to be.
Yeah, I mean, training is always evolving. As society, evolves, as social standards evolve, training evolves, and you have to stay up on that training. It's never going to go away. The state's going to mandate that you do certain training, like you just mentioned, and you have to do that. But it's always a good thing to train on shift, like we were talking about, and to continue that type of training. I know how important training is as well. I taught at Nebraska Wesleyan, the death investigation, their graduate program, crime scene, advanced crime scene. I've taught at the law enforcement training center as well. You have training is a given. This is a very difficult profession to be in, okay? And you have to stay up on the standards and on the policies, on the laws, and you want to keep people safe. You want to keep the community safe. You want to keep the officers safe. You want to keep the employees safe. You have to continue to grow with that and be open to that training.
Okay, Mr. Robinson, are you a Freemason? It's a question, I did make that up.
No. And I can quote a movie and say, but I'm willing to learn. No, I won't say that. No, I'm not a Freemason. I'm sorry. If that's a prerequisite, I'm not your guy.
Mr. Wallace?
I was a Freemason at one time when I was in my early 20s. My father-in-law got me into it. Ever since then, I've never participated in anything, so I don't know if that makes me a Freemason or not, but I haven't practiced, and I'm 42, so thank you. So, yeah.
Okay. Mr. Franklin?
I'm not.
Thank you, guys. We had actually a last question submitted, unless you want to dig into more of those other ones. And on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being liberal and 10 being conservative, I understand you're all on the Republican ticket, but what number would you be? Please explain why. And see, Mr. Wallace, you're first.
That's an interesting question. Yeah, I would find myself probably between an 8 and 10. I believe in limited government. I believe in people taking care of themselves. But I'm also an individual thinker. As sheriff, you want to be able to. You're overseeing a county of diverse people, a diverse group of people, right? But you have different beliefs and different views. But I am in the upper range, if that's what you want to call it. The question between 8 and 10 and what it is, I'm pro Second Amendment, I'm pro constitutional rights, I'm pro all these. Unless there's something specific to address, but that's where I stand.
That's all I got.
I'm going to put myself in the middle someplace. And the reason being is that I'm a Republican. I've been registered Republican since the day I first registered. There's a lot of things with the Republican Party I agree with. There's a few things that I disagree with. There's some things with the Democratic Party and nonpartisans that I agree with and disagree with as well. The one thing that was told to me is that yes, I am a registered Republican, but I am the sheriff for every citizen in this county. You have to have an open mind. You have to understand their wants, needs, desires. You have to be empathetic to their thoughts. You just can't walk into a room and say, oh, you're not a Republican, so I don't want to solve your crime. You have to be there for everybody and have that broadness in your thought process.
I'm a 10. When I first registered, I was a regular Republican. I've been a Republican ever since. Does that mean I'm an extreme right person? No, I just don't like using my feelings. I'm a small government person. I totally believe in the Second Amendment. I believe in the ability of people to be able to carry their weapons, concealed carry, open carry. I believe in the Constitution, free speech. If I may not agree with someone's speech, but my training, especially being on the rapid deployment force, I will get out there and I will do everything I can to protect your right to say whatever you want to say, even though I may not agree with it, because I took an oath of my office to do that. So, yeah, I may be a 10, I may be a Republican like that, but I don't care what your beliefs are. I'm going to protect you and do everything I can to keep you safe and to protect your constitutional rights just like anybody else. And that's just my feelings.
That is everything we got submitted. I don't know if you guys, if you want to take some questions or if you want to just go into your closing statements and chat with everyone. That's, you guys can take them.
I'm willing to take some questions. Everybody's got it.
Okay, does anyone, do you have any questions?
I would say one thing. Mine's not a question.
Okay.
Well, I've worked with all three of them. They're all phenomenal. I've worked with them for my 43 years at the courthouse, and they're all great guys. But I don't have any questions for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
Yeah, I concur completely. I mean, you guys have been out in the community, and it seems like it's been right up my alley, very non-confrontational and professional, and every time I've seen one of you somewhere. And so thank you for doing that. Thank you for being willing to be here today and field some questions that you had no idea what was coming at you. So,
They were interesting.
yeah, I
And
was,
challenging.
which is great.
I like it.
Anyone have any questions? Yes.
Go ahead, if you want to go first. Fort Calhoun every year bill a certain amount for sheriff's office protection. I don't remember what the figure is, based on how many hours they're there. So my question is, Lynn and I go to breakfast every Saturday morning from 4 to 7. And every Saturday morning there's a deputy sitting in front of the Fort County Museum, and there's no traffic. Weird, you know, like I do with fire. And I just wondered, would it be better spent if they were out in the neighborhoods and not just sitting there? One that's, I understand when there's traffic, and that is a problem with trucks and stuff. I'm not a 7 o'clock a second.
Okay, I'll take that one.
Go ahead.
Okay, Mark, I don't know what time you leave in the morning. I wish I did, but about the time they're not sitting there, somebody comes blowing through there, somebody will say, why wasn't there a deputy there? Now, they do need to probably pick better times, if it's slow and stuff like that, maybe go out and be seen somewhere else. Maybe that's the time to go down and get east and see what's going on east, maybe go out west on 32 and see what's going on west of town. I can't disagree with that, but it's just like the truck traffic that comes through town. The minute those guys are sitting there, it slows down. The minute they leave, it speeds up. They just can't be there all the time when they need to be, even though they really want to be. So, yeah, that's something, if you have a concern like that, don't be afraid to call and say, hey, look, this is something I've seen, can you explain this to me, or maybe there's something going on we don't know. And we can address that.
Go ahead.
I do understand the contractual obligations we have with both Fort Calhoun and Arlington, and to be completely honest with you, I couldn't agree more. I drive through Fort Calhoun, I also drive through Arlington, and yes, that's where you see our officers the majority of the time. it upsets me. There's more to those communities than that highway. Yes, we need to keep the traffic down. Yes, we need to be present, but we also need to be present in your neighborhood. We also need to be present by the parks, by everywhere else in that town to, again, prevent crime. I couldn't agree with you.
So I'll talk a little bit about it. Yeah, I think it's a matter of just explaining expectations, what needs to be done. I mean, down the chain, yeah, it's like the two gentlemen said, you have to move around, you got to get to other places. You don't know where crime's going to happen, we don't have a crystal ball at all. And you hope you're in the right place at the right time when it happens. But I can tell you this, the sheriff's office does get, it's a 40-hour contract. And it's always, even with me there, it was always generally 10 hours more a week that the county gives to the communities to help protect the community. So yeah, it's good. Officer presence is a good thing. You want people to slow down, but you're hoping, like I said, you're in the right place at the right time. It's just a matter of just, like I said, expectation and explaining, some other things that they probably need to do at the time. Not easily remedied.
And
So this position, I'm making the assumption, is going to take a lot of time and a lot of commitment. So I guess I'll ask each one of you why you think you're the best person to be committed enough to do this job 110%. Or how?
Here, I'll start. Sorry. I think, like I explained earlier, but what I didn't, about my leadership experience, my law enforcement experience, my commitment to serve and my servant's heart. So what does that mean? These can be political statements and so forth. Over the last many years, I've shown my commitment to the community by being involved in so many things, whether it's Skills USA, Teammates Mentor, Washington County Habitat for Humanity Board, Washington County Food Pantry Board, Little League Board, LBA 40 Committee, Gateway Development Board. I'm currently on the City Council. That's a commitment. It's 12 years. I'm finishing my 12th year now. And the 4th year is Council President. I've been around here. I haven't gone anywhere. And I'm sure both of them will agree. This is a big commitment, and it's something that we're willing to do. It's a priority. It's a priority to keep you safe, keep people safe, and protected in this county. And there's anything less than that is unacceptable. I personally will tell you that that's my commitment to you and to the people of this county. To be available, to be there, like I said earlier, to be accessible, to be approachable, and to genuinely listen.
You're absolutely right. This is a full-time job, not 40 hours a week, a full-time job, day and night. You have to be available to the people. I am available to the people right now. I'm on call 24/7, 365 as we sit here and speak. You need to be in that office, but you also need to be out in the communities doing things as well. You still need to go to a lot of the events. You need to make your presence known. Being involved in a lot of the organizations is great, but does that take time away from what you need to be doing for our office and for our citizens and the community? I am involved in some organizations as well. And I'm committed to the people of Washington County. I'm committed to my job. I'm there all the time. My vacations are slim and none at best, if I get one. I just hardly ever do. If I take a vacation, it's a day or so here or there, because I know what my career requires of me at this time, and I know what it's going to require when I become a sheriff.
Excellent question, by the way. Yes, I am ready, willing, and ready to get into that office and work. I show up for work. I'm in uniform every day. I show up in uniform because even though I'm sheriff, I'm still a law enforcement officer. I love being a law enforcement officer. Something I've been doing for 43 years. I've got the experience. I've got the leadership skills. I've also been mayor for 16 years in a small community. If you want to talk about a challenge, try being a mayor of a small community and have some people that are angry about things going on and just can't understand why you can't do why they can't do certain things, and when you're trying to explain it to them. It can be difficult, but I've got that experience. Look at the changes that have gone on in Port Cowboy since the time I've been there. The improvements, are they all because of me? No, it's because I've surrounded myself with people that can succeed and do things, and that's the strength. Is you find and you depend on people to help you accomplish your goals and what you want to do. And that's one of the things I can do. I was on the school board before that for 8 years. I was involved with the schools. I know what it is to be involved with the community and budgeting and leadership, the training involved with all this. And I am a sheriff that will show up in uniform, ready to work, whether it be going to a meeting or whether it be going out and responding to disturbance calls. Because that's what a law enforcement officer does. Not just a sheriff, but a police officer, which is what I am.
Excuse me. People are saying they can't hear the volume down in the chat. Have four messages. Providing that the chat. 40 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry. We can't
Speak
hear.
loudly. I'm sorry about
We'll
that.
just double it.
They can't hear.
Okay. Yeah, something get on that.
I'll do the voiceover when we're done.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any other questions?
I'll ask a question that might feel out of left field a little bit. What are your takes on interposition in the sense in which if the state says do something that you feel is unconstitutional, the state or the federal constitution, how would you feel about interposition in the sense of stepping in between your constituents in the county and the state?
So, just to clarify, you're talking about how would we feel if we felt the state passed a law that was unconstitutional and expected us to enforce it?
Yeah.
I guess it would depend on the constitutional challenge to it and what's going on with it. If it was clearly a violation of the Constitution, I'm sorry, and probably going to be a minority here, but no, we wouldn't enforce it. If the state would suddenly come out, or the federal government come out and say, you will go out and seize everybody's firearms, we're not doing that, because that's constitutionally protected. We're not going to do that. So if it's constitutionally protected right, no, I'm sorry. And we're also taking an oath to protect our citizens from government.
I mean, it's kind of a vague question.
Yeah,
You know, and I get it, you know, but and I agree. Our job is protect, you know, the rights of the citizens. I mean, that's what we do. That's our job. That's the oath we take. If something violates the Constitution, you know, like Mitch was talking about, the rights of, you know, the guns and so forth, yeah, that's unacceptable. You know, this is who we are. We want to be sheriff. We can't just sit there and just turn a blind eye to anything. The people don't expect that. They don't deserve that. So we stand in the gap. If we have to stand in the gap to protect that, if I have to stand in the gap to protect that as sheriff, I will do that without question.
I think they've answered it very well. If there's something unconstitutional, no, we are not going to, you know, enforce something that, first of all, you know, you need to protect yourselves. Second of all, we need to protect ourselves civilly, criminally, for going out and doing something that's a violation of the Constitution.
I realize that's a hard question to answer without a specific example,
Yeah.
so thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anybody have anything else?
What about red flag laws?
I'm not in favor of red flag law. I think it could be, it could violate a person's rights. I mean, it gives people, you know, for those that don't understand what red flag laws is or are, you know, it's just basically in a nutshell, we'll have someone, you know, say, well, I think John Doe is, could hurt himself or hurt others based on his, how he's acting, his mental state. So we're gonna do what we can, go before a judge to get his guns taken away, or her guns taken away. And I think that's unfair. That's, that can be abused in so many ways. And there's no boundaries. There's no boundaries for that. So,
But we're talking about
for just,
That was Tom.
so anyway, it can be easily abused, and I'm not supportive of red flag laws at all.
Neither am I, but I do believe that we need to protect our citizens and communities. We said mental health is a huge problem in our communities right now. There have been some laws passed to protect it, protection orders and things of that nature, emergency committals to where we seize our guns because we don't feel that they're safe with those things once they prove that they can have them back. Sure, I have no problems with that, but first we need to address the core of that issue, and that is mental health. There it is.
we have a mental health crisis in this nation, but I'm dead set against red flag laws. I can see the abuse of it coming and violating people's constitutional rights to either buy, possess, carry, or whatever, a handgun. The documented cases of red flag laws being abused. And I'm not in favor of that. I don't want to give the government that opportunity to do that. There's other avenues that we currently use when it comes to mental health and those things. And the red flag law is not the way to do it.
Any other questions?
What's the status on the jail? Is it 50% full, 75% full?
Depends
Are we
on-
seeing an income coming in like was kind of talked about when it was planned? Just what's the status of it?
This morning's population was 69. It's a 120 bed facility, but they consider it full when it gets to about 85–90%, because that gives the corrections opportunity to move people around if they have to. If they're totally full and they have a problem child, it can cause too many problems. The revenue coming in right now, in the last 2 years, it's brought in, the last 3 years have brought in close to $3 million. The last 2 years, over $1 million in revenue. This year, we're still on goal that we should reach $1 million again this year before July 1. We have a Captain Steve Bolton, who does a fantastic job running that facility and is always reaching out to different agencies, trying to get more of their inmates into our facility, not without headaches. And I don't know how that man does it, but he is a fantastic jail administrator for us, and I give him kudos because he does a great job.
Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into that jail. Both of them agree. I agree. Steve does a wonderful job. It's nice that the county's been able to reach out and get contracts with other agencies to bring inmates in, so and housing and so forth. There's just so much that goes into it. But yeah, it is bringing in revenue in spite of what some people think. So it is doing that. It's a good thing. Bad people have to go to jail for committing crimes, but it helps county in the same sense.
One big question on that is where does that revenue go? That's not a question for us, but that's something that should be directed at our county board. That revenue was promised to go pay down the bond. I'm not sure that it is going there. With the population of our jail, we also need more staffing back there. That money is sitting there to be used to increase our staffing back in the jail as well. Make our jailers a little more safe. We go back there, I shouldn't say on a regular basis, but on a fairly decent basis to assist them with the inmates in the cells or coming in. Just because their staffing isn't what it actually should be for a facility that size.
Follow up to that, you mentioned Mr. Steve Bolton, so what what training's in place to make sure that if he hits the lottery and calls and says, I'm not coming in, you are set to continue the excellence that's going on.
Well, I'm locking the door and following him.
Yeah. You better have an extra seat in the boat.
You're always working on making sure that in the event something happens, even if it be a tragic event, that someone is no longer with you, is someone who's ready to step into that position. We're working on that and making sure that person is there on staff for us now, because the last thing you want to do is go through a long hiring process for something like that, because that's not what you want to do. You want to bring people in from your inside if you can, if they're qualified. Otherwise, you will go outside and get the best qualified you can. But it doesn't matter what the position is, whether it be the correctional sergeant, captain, or your correctional patrol officers, your sergeants. You're always ready to training people up to take over those positions in the event something like that is going.
Yeah, I mean, as a sheriff, as an executive of the organization, you have to have a plan B. You have to be forward thinking. You have to look at that long-term vision and how staff and how the mission plays into that vision. And like was just mentioned, the expectation should be for each division, command staff, all the way down to have someone trained. I mean, to fill their position, to step in, even if they're not there for a little while, or leave of absence. I mean, that's the best way to run an organization. You want to keep running smooth the best you can. And if somebody leaves, you want to make sure you have the right person in place to take over and ready to take over.
Couldn't have said it better. I mean, we do that on a daily basis. I know my supervisory position now, when I become sheriff, my position is going to be vacant. And I train my guys to have a flawless, seamless transition into my position. We do that in every division, every rank. If Steve were to leave, it would be a huge loss to the sheriff's office, but yet we do have people that would be able to step into that as well as the other ranks. We've had recent turnover in our communications division, and we had some very seamless transitions, going through their supervisory roles as well. We just keep them trained and keep them going.
Anybody else? Got about 9 minutes. I see nothing. Thank you guys again for being here. We greatly appreciate it. And thank you for sitting in the hot seats. Also want to thank Blair Radio for stepping in to do a live feed for us. Thank all of you for being here, being members, and all that you will do for our county and our communities. With that, give you guys an opportunity for some closing thoughts. Since we started alphabetical, we'll go alphabetical backwards and let Mr. Will start.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, thank you for sponsoring this and to Blair Radio and for you guys being here. I mean, this is a good thing. You need to know who's going to run the sheriff's office. This is important, and it's important. I do have a vision for the sheriff's office. My vision for the sheriff's office includes enhancing community relations and community partnerships, improving upon the operational efficiency of the office, and fostering a positive and supportive work environment. I can tell you this, I will be decisive. I'll be strong in my resolve. I'll be consistent in my actions. And I will be balanced in my judgments. And the decisions that I make will reflect the values, your values of this county. And I hope and I ask that on May 12th, you have a big decision that you're going to have to make. I hope I gain your support and your vote on May 12th. I look forward to protecting you, keeping you safe, and serving as your next sheriff. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you to the Chamber for having this opportunity to address people. Blair Radio, fantastic. I'm so glad we were able to reach more people than are in this room. I am a lifelong resident of Washington County, except for a little over a year in which I lived in Dixon County, Nebraska, when I was a deputy there. I raised my family here. My family still lives here. It's my goal to keep them safe, to keep my family safe, to keep your family safe. I have a vision also for this sheriff's department. And then we're going to be professional out here. We're going to be proactive in what we're doing. We're also going to go out and we're going to go in and we're going to evaluate what is here. I already know what's here being on staff. I see the people we have working. We've got a great group of people, and there's gonna be some changes, nothing major, there's gonna be some reorganization. But we can get it done. And I want to be the sheriff that you want out here. I'm gonna be approachable, I'm gonna be out here meeting people. I'm also gonna be the guy also helping my guys responding to calls, because along with being a sheriff, I'm a police officer. And that's what I love to do. And I want to be the sheriff, don't mistake it at all. I really want to be the sheriff. I'm excited to do it, and I just thank you for listening.
Again, thank you for having all of us here tonight. Thank you for showing up. My biggest goal for the Washington County Sheriff's Office is community. I want the community to be safe. I want the community to be protected. Whether you live in Washington County or travel through Washington County, I want you to be protected. We will put the right people in the right places in order to do that. Yes, we will make some changes, but I think they will all be positive changes. You will see more of us. You will see us out all the time. You will see me. We will have more of a morale, a higher morale inside of our office. By doing that, it will keep our people here. They won't leave. That's great, especially for the transitions going up through the ranks. That's amazing to save on our budgets for training and hiring new employees. The office is going to be changing. You're going to have some very positive things coming out, no matter which one of us you choose. I know that by choosing me, it will be the best choice for this office. I work there daily. I work with the employees daily. We appreciate your vote on May 12th. Thank you again for having us.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, you see them further down? Yeah.